good, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Anime no Iesu. This is if you've been sticking around this long, thank you so much. Please spread the word, tell a friend. There's awesome stuff happening here in Anime no Iesu. And my name is Unika, and I don't want you to bite your tongue saying that, so I'll just guide you. So it's own as in owning something, yay as in yay, and then ka, on ye ka. That's how you say it. Now, I'm actually really here to show you something that you might have never seen before. And I know some of you are like, what the heck is this guy? I've never seen before, but I've seen things, right? But anyway, I'm here to show you how Jesus can talk to you through the amazing world of anime. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the A word. And no, that's not Akaza for the, Kimetsu no Yaiba fans out there. It's not Avatar. And sadly, it is actually not even All Might himself. Awakening. That's the actual word that we're going to be talking about for this episode. So we'll just talk to you about some reasons, why your awakening is actually a great idea. What does awakening even mean? And we'll dive into this amazing topic through this very, very, very awesome and cool, amazing series. For those of you who don't know, I've been, talking about Vinland Saga, so that's it. Yeah, check out the trailer. Man, these trailers actually take me out. Did you just see that? Anyway, so this again, Vinland Saga is an amazing historical anime series which is based on the manga series by Makoto Yukimura. So again, imagine, history meets, the awesome world of Japanese animation, just like that. And the coolness, it's edgy, there's real fights, like real heart, real emotions, real feelings, and deep lessons as well, some of which we're unpacking with, the awesome world of, again, Anime no Iesu. So, I would actually suggest it if you've never had the chance to check it out. Check out Vinland Saga. Let me know what you think. I think it's a cool one, but hey, I'll leave the judgment to you. But anyway, well, besides that point, for this episode itself, we're going to be talking about Canute. So, for those of you who don't know, anytime I wear a shirt, I'm previewing the character we're actually talking about, or just sort of it's for the real anime fans out there. So this shirt is Canute. So today we are talking about Canute. So first things first, we'll talk about who is Canute? Who is he? Why should I care? Well, secondly, we'll actually talk about what does awakening mean? What's the actual definition of awakening? What does awakening have to do with Canute? Because, it seems, awakening Canute, it's so random. But don't worry, I'll explain. Just sit tight and, watch the actual video. And the fourth thing we'll talk about is actually 4 reasons why awakening is a great idea. So we'll just dive into the first one as to who is Canute. Yeah, let's get started. So the big question, who exactly is Canute? So Canute is the second son of King Sweyn, who is the king of Denmark in this anime series itself. And that legally makes him a prince. Son of a king is a prince. And some say he's so good looking that he actually looks like a princess, which is, what? But it's actually the long, super long hair. His hair is literally almost, I think, past his waist or at his waist or whatever. So, but yeah, so that's Canute. But he's also a very, very timid boy in terms of just like, like frightened. It's almost like, what the heck's wrong with this kid? So he's frightened and he, his cowardly persona and everything there. He now leans on people like his devoted guardian, who's named Ragnar.
者どもしかと見よ、こちらにおわすお方こそデンマーク国王スベン陛下のご子息クヌート殿下である。これより殿下がその方らにお言葉をくださる。かしこまって聞くがよい。さあ殿下、一発景気のいい短歌を。何でもいいんですよ。似てくるぞとかなんとか、あの無礼者どもに不快感を表明してやってください。あなたが言えば奴ら金玉縮みやがって道を譲るでしょう。お、殿下。殿下は人前で話されるのがお嫌いなのだ。ここはわしが。なりません、ラグナル殿。何？たとえお若くとも一国の王子、果たすべき責任がございます。今この場にいるすべての者が王子殿下の御ために動いているのですよ。お優しい方なのだ。無用の争いを好まれぬ。だから無用の喧嘩にならねえように場を収めてくれっつってんでしょうが。貝みてえに押し黙っててスベン王の跡目が務まるとお思いですか。黙れ！貴様らに殿下の何がわかる？
Now, it's not that Canute is dumb or lazy, like whoa, way far from it. Canute is actually very immensely educated, as is the case for someone of his status. As nobility in the past, nobility had access to the best education, far better than even what anyone else had in their own domain. And he actually can do the work when he needs to. He's you saw him when he's doing the cooking stuff and all that, so he's not lazy, he's not dumb. But it's just that there's actual trauma, childhood trauma buried in his heart from the way he grew up and things that were happening in the royal courts.
Damari! No. 貴様らに殿下の何がわかる？王宮は親子兄弟が相食らう狐の巣だ。病がちだった殿下がその中を生き延びるのにどれほど苦労なさったか。お心を殺し息を殺し目立たぬようにして今日までやってこられたのだ。それでも次々貴様らのようなやつばらが殿下を利用せんとすり寄ってくる。わきまえよ。殿下がどのように振る舞われようとも貴様ごときが口を出すことは許されぬ。
Really centered around his father. So, that trauma is what has essentially kind of caged Canute. So, sidebar on this. The previous episode, which I talked about Askeladd, feel free to check it out after this. That episode I talked about Askeladd's own daddy issues because he was a bastard, and the custom at the time in terms of being in the Viking custom really frowned on bastards because they lacked the legitimacy, inheritance, all these different things. Now it's really flipped here because Canute is he's a legitimate son of King Sweyn, but even then he still has daddy issues, not because of his status but because of his actual father's own lack of love towards him. So imagine that you're a prince, you're rich, you look good, and your dad still doesn't like you. which is just like, just anyway, once we like, how confused would you be? So that's really where Canute is, or how hurt would you be even on top of that? So that's really where Canute is right now. And it's also the fact that because of all that trauma and the daddy issues and everything going on in his heart, he's really afraid, like really, really afraid. All the fears really seeped into him, so much so that he leans on Ragnar to do stuff for him because his courage is just dead and gone, buried in his heart because of all the pain and trauma. Now, the big question we're gonna ask is that, how did Canute go from being, cowardly princess or prince, if you want to call him whatever, to being a fearless prince, someone who when he just stands up and he's talking, you're like, who's this guy? Like, you know what I mean? Just a shocker to everybody. And we'll unpack a lot of that later on in this episode. But first things first, we're actually going to talk about the A word, which is awakening. So the definition of awakening. What does that actually mean? Yeah, check it out. So what is the actual definition of awakening? So the first definition there, awakening, is really more talking about sort of a state, more in regards to your physical state. Like, you're asleep, someone, taps you, and then you wake up, and that's you awakening. It's the act of coming to, like, actually, you're no longer unconscious, you're becoming conscious, so you're awakening. That's what the first definition there says. But I actually really like the fourth one shown here with Wiktionary, where it's talking more about awareness rather than you being asleep, but it's actually talking about awareness, that awakening is actually someone becoming aware of something they didn't even know before. So they're awakening to that fact. Example, if you didn't know about anime, for instance, and let's say you start liking anime because you watched Mob Psycho or Gundam, for instance. So you awakened, as in you now became aware about how great anime can be because you watched these two anime series that I mentioned. So the awakening is actually more in regards to your awareness of the actual, the anime series we mentioned. Now, to keep going with this, it's life is life. People go through a lot of things. Like, whatever age bracket you're in, people are going through things. And sometimes those things are really bad and really dark and really painful. And they hit you so much that they almost cause someone to be sedated. So that person will no longer want to, I don't want to dream again, I don't want to hope again. And they'll almost like withdraw, and say like, no, I don't want to, I've been hit by the world is so cold and hurtful. So then that person will never try to discover themselves because of the pain they faced. This actually goes double for those who've been involved in any trauma, whether it's sexual, mental, physical, in their childhood, because that really, trauma really does something awful to the mind. Now, the truth of it is that I think a lot of us don't know who we really are. I think we say we do, but like, if we were really asked, who are you? Not your culture, not your parents, not your job, not the things you do, as in, who are you? Strip away all of that stuff. Who are you? A lot of us don't know how to answer that question. And sometimes we go to, Google, we'll go to the internet, we'll go to a conference or like a book fired by some motivational speaker or whatever, and ask that person, not directly, but you'll be like, who am I? Because you're trying to search for who you really are. Because that is a big question for anybody to answer. Now, I think that based on that note, like, there's a lot to you. There's a lot more to you than you think. That's literally in the design, as in how Jesus made you. Now, I think it's just that you don't know it. You don't know the full extent of it. And you're not alone. A lot of people are in that same exact boat. So was Canute. Canute was literally in that exact same boat. That is until he awakened and started to become aware of who he truly was destined to be. Yeah. So we'll now actually just dive into what exactly does awakening have to do with Canute and his own journey. Yeah. So what does awakening have to do with Canute? Now, the first thing is that you can't really awaken if you're not asleep. By that I mean asleep to the power and abilities that Jesus has built into you. And that's like long before you were born. Though Canute himself was born into royalty, life as a prince was really, really not easy. As a child, he grew up in the royal Danish court, which was really like a messy childhood, betrayal, bloodshed, just violence. That's what he went through as a child. Also, second thing is that his older brother was seen as the favorite son or the heir to the throne. So Canute is essentially like offshoot, not offshoot, but like essentially a spare. He's a non-entity in terms of his. That's how his father sees him, and it's just that King Sweyn himself also rejects the skills that Canute has. Like Canute cooks him a meal, and this dude slaps it out of his hand like it's like gutter trash.
昔にタラの料理を作った時な、良い出来だったので父王陛下に持って行ったことがある。だが陛下は召し上がるどころか激しくお怒りになった。王の子が卑しき奴隷の真似事をするなと。以来僕は料理などせぬことになっている。王の子にはこんな技など必要ないのだ。
And you're like, I mean, at least appreciate the effort it took for him to do something, I think the other thing is also that King Sweyn himself intentionally putting Canute in danger, serious danger, by taking him to, like when King Sweyn went to invade England in order to conquer the island nation.
たかが町一つにそのような時間は避けぬ。寛容なのは大局だ。何においてもこのイングランド全土の掌握を優先せねばならん。本隊を西へ移動させる。ロンドン包囲は兵4000を残して続けさせよ。御意のままに。4000の指揮はそうさの。クヌートに任せよう。あれの男ぶりを上げる良い機会だ。
話が違うではありませんか。殿下のご動向は民に示しをつけるためとそう仰せられたはず。
ラグナル殿、お控えなさい。陛下のご意志ですぞ。
トルケルには全軍ですらかなわぬのです。その5分の1の兵力で当たるなどご無理です。
そのくらいでなければ薬にならぬ。
ですが殿下は慣れぬ戦場で辛労も重ねられて。
お前の責任でもあるのだぞ、ラグナル。キリストの教えのせいか。あれは男のくせに妙に気弱に育ってしまった。近習のお前が甘やかすからだ。
申し訳ありません。
クヌートには包囲軍の将を任ずる。貴公が付き添い副将として補佐せよ。
殿下。
Now, that's not something a loving father would do. A loving father would not insult the skills that a son has. and also you wouldn't put him in intentional danger with regards to any violent situation or anything like that. I actually suspect already from this, like at this point, that Canute himself might be suffering or will suffer from the effects of parental rejection. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, please check out the previous episode where we talk about it with regards to Askeladd and his life as a bastard and just the mental issues this guy goes through because of being rejected by his, I say parental rejection, but I'm really more talking about daddy issues, his dad. But yeah, check it out after this if you want to. And I think because of all that trauma that Canute goes through as a young child, you know, the rejection from his father, slash daddy issues that he has, he becomes this very timid, sheltered child who is really, really, really dependent on his guardian, Ragnar, for, I guess, support or just even just an identity, which is just sad to see in truth. In truth, Ragnar was actually more of a father to Canute than Canute's own dad, as in King Sweyn. Ragnar protected him literally from danger, made sure he was safe, fed, and also, you know, taught him a bunch of different things, including cooking, which is a really good skill to have. Please learn how to cook wherever you are. I think it's also that though he meant well, Ragnar's overprotectiveness really kept Canute from growing on his own, like in terms of, you know, thinking for himself sometimes, and even finding a voice of his own. Like even Askeladd and his crew start to notice that, you know, something weird's going on here. Like this is a prince, he can't talk for himself. What's up with that?
あの男、ラグナルと言ったか。
は
ひな鳥もいつかは巣立つということを知らんな。あれではかえってひなに良くない。計画のためにお前のやるべきことは多いようだな。まずはひなを巣立たせることか。
And then you start to also see that Ragnar would do anything for Canute in terms of keeping him safe. Like, as nice and as Christian as Ragnar is, he doesn't, you know, really put his foot down when Askeladd's crew murder an entire village in the deep of winter. Babies, mothers, fathers, children. Just to make sure no one in the town sent word that Askeladd's crew was going through that specific area.
たちデンジンか。わしらの言葉の通じる者はおらんか。頼む、食べるものを半分、せめて半分残してくれないか。半分あればなんとか冬は越せる。赤ん坊もおるんだ。どうか。
赤ん坊か。そりゃ大変だな。大丈夫。あんた方のことは考えてあるよ。冬越しの心配はしなくていい。
本当にか。
本当さ。来年も再来年ももう冬越しの心配はいらん。あんた方を苦悩から解放してやろう。
アシェラット、彼らは非戦闘員だ。
生かしておいてもこいつらに食わす飯はねえ。一人でも脱走されたら敵地の真ん中でもたついてることをチクられる。そいつはいただけねえ。どうだ、穴は掘れたか。
おお、詰めれば62人入るぜ。
アシェラット、この者たちはキリスト教徒だ。
だからなんすか。王子殿下の御ためにはこれが最善ですよ。はい、他に質問のある方はいないね。よし、そんじゃやろうども。やれ。
敵に見つかったっす。 東の森で戦闘がおっ始まりました。
何？
大した兵数じゃなさそうですが、一応用心してください。
どういうことじゃ？この村に潜んでまだ10日だぞ。なぜバレた？
知るかよ、んなの。
なんということだ。村人たちを皆殺しにしてまで。
Now, if that's not messed up, I really don't know what it is, because that's just crazy. But I'm no Viking, so I can't really judge. It's just, yeah. But anyway, so with regards to that, you definitely see that, Ragnar's overprotectiveness is really a big thing. Like it's almost like coddling Canute, and Canute now, like, he's a Danish prince, but he now looks like a fragile puppet, essentially, who can't think for himself, can't do anything unless Ragnar guides him to do so, or he does it like Ragnar does it first, essentially, or leads the way. This is why, like, you realize that Ragnar is almost like, I don't want to say Canute's totem or something, but like, essentially Canute needed this guy there as a support. I don't know, support or a friend. I guess you could call him that, somewhere out there. Like, again, father figure is the biggest one there. So to the point where when Ragnar dies, as in Canute sees this guy's cold, dead body, he was just shocked, like couldn't believe it. That Ragnar, who's always been there, helping him as a child, even when he's now a little grown up, is gone.
イングランド兵数人を相手に獅子奮迅のご活躍でしたが、背後からの槍にあえなくご胸中をお察しいたします、殿下。
ウサギの煮込みを食べていたんだ。途中飛び出していって、あれ変だな。さっきまでだって。
And now you also see that Canute, throwing a tantrum, essentially, when Ashgard and his crew tried to, get him out of where they are, because, Thorkel's men are coming after them. And, this guy's something like he's a spoiled brat or something. I mean, I get he's a prince, but what's with all that stuff there? And the thing we also see is that, let's dial that back. I suspect that the only person who really disciplined him, because, he's a prince, almost untouchable in a sense, would have been his own father, as in King Sweyn. But it doesn't seem like King Sweyn was really that, like, active in Canute's life, in truth. Because, he's not the heir, so he's just a spare, so why bother treating him like anyone else? And I also think Ragnar, who the discipline would have fallen to, I don't think Ragnar actually really disciplined Canute too as well, because, he loved him, cared for him like his own son, and essentially might have, spoiled him a little bit, which is why, like, I was so proud of Askeladd for what he literally did in this next scene right here, to check that attitude of Canute's. Yeah.
この話せゲロめ、僕の命令に逆らうのか。ラグナルをこんなところに置いていけるか。ラグナルと一緒じゃなきゃ僕は行かないぞ。
お諦めください、殿下。ソリは3台、死体を積み込む余裕はございません。
ならば葬儀をせよ。戦士の死に敬意を払え。命令だ。
時間的余裕もございません。
貴様。嫌だ、僕は行かないぞ。ラグナル、ラグナル。
ラグナルは死んだ。もう呼んでも来ねえ。
So when Ashclad's crew turn on him in terms of wanting to take charge and take over because of the fear of Thorkel's men who are quickly approaching them. Ashclad sends Bjorn, as in, aka Bjorn the Berserk. I'll call him that because, he's strong and goes berserk sometimes. He puts Bjorn to actually protect our boy Canute. So as they're fighting it out, the Vikings all over are fighting for Canute, and men are dying around him. Wilbur the monk, who happens to be there, funny enough, actually says something to Canute about Canute's relationship with Ragnar or connection with Ragnar and love, and it was deep and very profound. Take a listen to what Wilbur actually says.
お体、痛みはございませんか。あの者たちは殿下を得ようと争っているのです。あなたは勝者のものになります。
神父であろうそなた、争いを止めるのか。
止めようがありますか。死にたい者は死なせてやればよいのです。
夢を見た。ラグナルの夢だ。別れを告げられた。死んでまで律儀な男だ。もうこの地上に私を愛してくれる者はいなくなった。
それは大いなる悟りです。だが惜しい。ラグナル殿のあなたへの思いは愛ですか。彼はあなたの安全のために62人の善良な村人を見殺しにした。殿下、愛とは何ですか。
愛とは何かだと。ラグナルは私を愛していなかったというのか。
はい。
ならば問うのは私の方だ。ラグナルに愛がないのなら、正しく愛を体現できる者はどこにいるのだ。
そこにいますよ。ほら。彼は死んで、どんな聖者よりも美しくなった。愛そのものと言っていい。彼はもはや憎むことも奪うこともしません。彼はこのままここに打ち捨てられ、その肉を獣や虫に惜しみなく与えるでしょう。雨風にさらされるがまま、それで一言半句の文句も言いません。死は人間を完成させるのです。
愛の本質が死だというのか。
はい。
ならば親が子を、夫婦が互いを、ラグナルが私を大切に思う気持ちは一体何だ。
差別です。王にへつらい奴隷に鞭打つことと大して変わりません。ラグナル殿にとって王子殿下は他の誰よりも大切な人だったのです。おそらく彼自身の命よりも。彼のあなたに対する心弱い思いは差別です。
そうか。分かってきた。分かってきた。この雪が愛なのだな。
そうです。
あの空が、あの太陽が、吹きゆく風が、木々が、山々が、なのになんということだ。世界が、神の御業がこんなにも美しいというのに、人間の心には愛がないのか。
私たちがこのような生き物になってしまったのは、遠い祖先が神に背き罪を犯したせいだと言われています。私たちは楽園から追放されたのです。
And after hearing all of this, like truth just hitting Canute's brain like a sucker punch. Well, not a sucker punch, but just deep impact. Canute is now just like, what? Like he's thinking, you know, like, and I think he's realizing that Ragnar is not here anymore. Like Ragnar is not just gone, he's gone permanently. Ragnar is not coming back.
静かにしてくれ。目を開けたくないんだ。このまま寝ていたい。このままずっと。
殿下、クヌート殿下。
ラグナル、お前生きて。これは夢なのだな、ラグナル。
はい、お別れを申し上げに参りました。
行くのか、僕を残して。僕一人でこんな世界で生きてゆけというのか。生きてゆけると思うのか。
私めはあなた様の教育係として失格でした。あなた様をヤルルとしてではなく、ごく普通の、それこそ農民が我が子を育てるがごとくにしてまいりました。それが陛下のお望みではないと知りつつ、お許しください。
何がいけないのだ。お前は父王陛下より僕自身の望みを汲んでくれた。王家になど生まれたくなかった。お前の子に、僕はお前の子に生まれていたらどんなによかったかと。
殿下、嬉しゅうございます。殿下、
行かないで。お前が好きなんだ。
Someone has to do something, and he can't wait on anyone else to do what only he himself, Canute, can do. That Canute himself he's a hawk, but he's been trapped in a cage of comfort and fear all over the long years of his childhood. And now's the time to break out of that cage and fly, like actually test his wings and become what he was always born to be. So join me as we watch Canute awaken to his actual potential in 3, 2, 1.
美 失って知ることがございます。あなた様はすでにお気づきでしょう。
ラグナル、
私めのことは夢でございます。
待て。
もはや目覚める時が来たのです。
いやだ、ラグナル、戻れ、戻れ。
お健やかに、殿下。
決着がついたようですね。だがいけませんな。あの者は正気を失っている。殿下、お逃げになった方が良いでしょう。
正気の人間がこの世のどこにいるのだ。皆同じだ。誰もが等しく愛することを知らぬのであろうが、生の意味を知らず、死の意味を知らず、己の戦う意味さえも知らぬ。
殿下、
もういい。もううんざりだ。地を得て代わりに失ったもの、最も大切なもの、そしてそれは生ある限り私たちの手には入らぬもの。手には入らぬ。それでも追い求めよというのか。天の父よ。哀れな戦士、最も愛より遠き者、楽園を追われし者よ。そなたたちの罰の苦しみは死より他に終わらせる術がないのか。我々の生は試され耐え続けるためにのみあるというのか。天の父よ、あなたの与える試練ではこの者の魂は救えぬ。父よ、もはやあなたの救いは求める。あなたが与えてくれぬなら、我々の手でこの地上に再びの楽園を。
あれ、王子。
Why? Look at this guy. What the heck am I watching? Like, look at him. Seriously, look at Canute, like, taking charge of the whole situation like a boss. Like, where the heck is Cowardly Canute? I'll tell you where. The guy, Cowardly Canute, is buried deep in the same place that Ragnar is, and that guy is not coming back. Like, seriously, Canute does not have the golden aura, but this dude just turned Super Saiyan. It's almost like watching Gohan go SS2 against Cell, which is just crazy. And an amazing episode, by the way. I just think like this, like I don't want anyone to miss what just happened here with Canute. It's not just like a mental psychop kind of thing. Like, this is what was in him all along, this kind of courage. And this is exactly what happens when a human being awakens to who they truly are destined to be. When you awaken, you actually can change into a whole different person. A stronger, more courageous version of you. Actually, you know what? Let's double back. I think a better way to say it is this way. Awakening isn't you turning into a whole new person. Awakening is you getting closer to your original self. And by original self, I mean the patient, smart, confident, kind, amazing version of you that Jesus created way before your parents, your mom and your dad ever met each other. And I think awakening is a really, really powerful thing. I mean, like, again, take a look, like Super Saiyan Canute. Like, look at this dude who was once, cowardly and couldn't even, squeak or open his mouth to say something at times. Look at him now and actually stand up to, the toughest of the toughest, as in Thorkel, who's pissed off after his fight with Thorfinn. And look, and Canute doesn't even faze him. It's like a walk in the park or something. Like, what? Okay.
きことをするだけだ。どうせ惜しむような命ではない。
俺はな、命は惜しくないなんて抜かすやつは腐るほど見てきた。大抵は軽く小づいただけで泣いて命乞いしやがる。てめえもその口だろう。あ
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Awakening can actually rewrite who you are for the better. That's exactly, seriously, this is exactly what Jesus is trying to tell you through this anime itself, as in Canute's story. You can't exactly pick when you'll awaken, but you can choose if you want to awaken. Again, back to Canute. When, again, realizing Ragnar is gone, Ragnar's not coming back, he could have chosen to still stay as his cowardly self, but something in him was like, nah, I don't think we're made to be cowardly. And he made the choice to actually embrace the awakening and now come up and, went all, again, like I say, a full-on Super Saiyan. Just crazy. Again, Super Saiyan Canute, I'll keep calling him that here and there, just for quirks. He started off at a point in this episode, but a point in this series, the Vinland Saga series. He started off as Thorkel's prisoner. Meek, quiet, shy, they were teasing him and all this stuff and all that. And look at him after he's awakened, where he walks back into his father's camp with Thorkel at his side as his sworn man. How's that for strong? So the lesson of this Anime no Iesu episode is that awakening can rewrite who you are for the better. That is the big, if you take away anything from this episode, let it be that one thing, that awakening can rewrite who you are for the better. Now, if things haven't been going your way, or you feel like there's something missing in life, I'm glad you're watching this video because of how I hope it can help you. I would say Jesus can definitely help you in terms of walking that journey, starting that journey to awakening. And if you have the courage, please join me in this very simple prayer. The reason I talk about Jesus is just because you're smart, you're clever, you're awesome, you're funny, cool. That's nice. But I know you can't awaken on your own. You know that too. If you really think deeply. That's why you've been doing all this stuff for how long and nothing's happened. As in, like, sometimes it's discovering who you really are. It has to be Jesus outside you to help you actually see who you really, really are destined to be. Again, Canute was a prince all along, royalty, but even he didn't see himself that way until he actually awakened and realized who he really, the power and the potential he had. So to help you unlock your own potential and your own power, Just join me in this quick prayer if you have the courage, and yeah, take the first step. Yeah, dear Jesus, I just thank you for who you are. I invite you into my life as my Lord and Savior. Help me to awaken as to all the giftings and talents you've placed inside of me. Help me to take those steps to use them for your glory. And I thank you for guiding me in how I will learn and explore this awakened me, this new version of me that will just surprise and amaze everybody. Thank you for your guidance and love, as always. In Jesus' mighty name I've prayed. Amen. There you go. So that's your first step to awakening. And you can also check out these 4 reasons why awakening is a great idea to also help you on that journey towards awakening. Yeah. Not sure why awakening is a good idea. That's okay. I've been there myself. I'm just actually going to walk you through four reasons. Yeah, not 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 reasons why awakening is a good idea. Reason number 1 is that awakening can empower you. Reason number 2 is that awakening can unlock your true potential. Reason number 3 is that awakening can help with surprising those who are around you. And reason number 4 is that awakening can bring you peace. Those are the 4 reasons why awakening is such a good idea. And we'll dive into reason number 1 as to how awakening can empower you. Yeah, stick around. So reason number 1 as to why awakening is a great idea is because awakening can actually empower you. That's the biggest reason as to why awakening is such a great idea. Now, when somebody awakens, what happens is that they unlock a strength or power ability within them that their old selves could never tap into or never figure out like what to do with. It's honestly, it's not magic. It's actually like, an awakening is also not a one-time thing. It's actually a permanent thing, a permanent change in who you are. Now, for all the wealth that Canute had, and he was wealthier than most Vikings because, i.e. son of a king, as in a prince, he still had, crippled by the trauma in his life as a child, couldn't really do things for himself in a sense, and was very dependent on his guardian Ragnar, like I mentioned before. Now, Ragnar's death was half of the key to Canute's awakening. The other half of that key was actually with the amazing Wilbur, the monk, philosophical monk. Yeah, you've never seen monks like this, but anyway, in terms of the words that he said to Canute to help literally knock him out of his cage, that fragile cage of his identity and sense of self, and bring him into reality essentially.
お体、痛みはございませんか。あの者たちは殿下を得ようと争っているのです。あなたは勝者のものになります。
神父であろうそなた、争いを止めぬのか。
止めようがありますか。死にたい者は死なせてやればよいのです。
夢を見た。ラグナルの夢だ。別れを告げられた。死んでまで律儀な男だ。もうこの地上に私を愛してくれる者はいなくなった。
それは大いなる悟りです。だが惜しい。ラグナル殿のあなたへの思いは愛ですか。彼はあなたの安全のために62人の善良な村人を見殺しにした。殿下、愛とは何ですか。
愛とは何かだと。ラグナルは私を愛していなかったというのか。
はい。
ならば問うのは私の方だ。ラグナルに愛がないのなら、正しく愛を体現できる者はどこにいるのだ。
そこにいますよ。ほら。彼は死んで、どんな聖者よりも美しくなった。愛そのものと言っていい。彼はもはや憎むことも奪うこともしません。彼はこのままここに打ち捨てられ、その肉を獣や虫に惜しみなく与えるでしょう。雨風にさらされるがまま、それで一言半句の文句も言いません。死は人間を完成させるのです。
愛の本質が死だというのか。
はい。
ならば親が子を、夫婦が互いを、ラグナルが私を大切に思う気持ちは一体何だ。
差別です。王にへつらい奴隷に鞭打つことと大して変わりません。ラグナル殿にとって王子殿下は他の誰よりも大切な人だったのです。おそらく彼自身の命よりも。彼のあなたに対する心弱い思いは差別です。
そうか。分かってきた。分かってきた。この雪が愛なのだな。
そうです。
あの空が、あの太陽が、吹きゆく風が、木々が、山々が、なのになんということだ。世界が、神の御業がこんなにも美しいというのに、人間の心には愛がないのか。
私たちがこのような生き物になってしまったのは、遠い祖先が神に背き罪を犯したせいだと言われています。私たちは楽園から追放されたのです。
Now, when William Weber's words really hit Canute like right at the core of his very being, I think it just starts to, shake up everything that's been inside him, and all of a sudden, like this him that was always there just surges to the front, and you just see it happen literally, just like that.
決着がついたようですね。だがいけませんな。あの者は正気を失っている。殿下、お逃げになった方が良いでしょう。
正気の人間がこの世のどこにいるのだ。皆同じだ。誰もが等しく愛することを知らぬのであろうが、生の意味を知らず、死の意味を知らず、己の戦う意味さえも知らぬ。
殿下。
もういい。もううんざりだ。
Look at this guy. Are you serious? Like, literally went from cowardly Canute to Super Saiyan Canute, or I'll call him now also. We keep throwing these names. Courageous Canute. Literally, like, he's staring down a berserker. And he's not even flinching. Guys, do you know how big of a deal this is? So for those of you who don't know, the word berserk actually, the English word berserk actually means to be furiously violent or out of control. Essentially, a berserker, you know, on the battlefield, a berserker is great and amazing because, you know, they'll tear into anyone who's opposing them. They don't even think they feel pain at that level with terms of what's going up, what's happening in their mind, essentially. I mean, there's a whole physiological factor to it, but we'll leave that aside. Now, they're great and amazing when they're turned against your enemy. Now, the problem is that the person who's berserk could be so doped up on rage and mushrooms that they might actually forget that the enemy is over there and actually turn on you, their allies, which can actually happen because they're not in the right sense of mind. Remember, Bjorn was sent by Ashklad to protect Canute and make sure he stayed safe in terms of the people who wanted to take him back after they betrayed Ashklad. In Bjorn's berserk state, he could have easily snapped Canute's neck like a twig. And again, look at Super Saiyan Canute just at it again. Like, this guy, something about his awakened state even causes berserk Bjorn to back off all the way. Like, I mean, I don't know what he saw, but he saw something that made him be like, whoa, maybe it's the golden aura. I'm throwing jokes here, but anyway, and then Canute takes it a step further and hugs Bjorn, which even I'm like, that's crazy, because remember what I said, the size different. Bjorn is even now berserk. He could snap Canute's neck or arm like a twig. Canute doing this is like you hugging an enraged bear. I don't think you would do that. Like, how many people would do that with, just, in the right frame of mind? But Canute does this, and doing that actually removes the berserk, veil from Bjorn's mind, and Bjorn actually comes out of it in terms of his berserk state, which is just, wow, like, who would have thought that was even the case? Like, even Wilbur was like, what the heck am I seeing? I mean, check out his face, it's just funny. Now, an awakening is something that can actually give you a permanent boost as to who you are, and actually essentially enhance your strength like you've never seen it before. And that's not just physical strength, it's actually also emotional, mental, vision. Like, you will never ever be the same, trust me. Everyone will be telling you that. And that is one really big reason why awakening is a great idea. Yeah, that's reason number one. So reason number two as to why awakening is a great idea is because awakening can unlock your true potential. That's reason number two. And I've said this before in a previous episode, and I will say it again. You really don't know who you truly are and what you are really capable of. You only have like a glimpse of what you think you're supposed to be. And you only know so much. You and I know that. Like, same goes for me. I'm not different in any case. And I think we really don't know who Jesus has designed us to become. Now, this amazing, awesome, marvelous version of you is actually trapped on the inside of the current you. As in, buried underneath your fears, your culture, your trauma, and your ignorance is this part of you that needs to awaken for you to really become everything you're destined to be. This is exactly the same case with Canute, where you see that once he awakens, he now starts to actually, he grabs hold of that potential, as in his potential to be the next king, which is actually a big, bold move because he is the least favorite son. That's one. He actually has an older brother, Harold, who's in line to inherit the throne. And two, he has little to no power in the actual Danish royal court, which is a huge disadvantage for him. Now, because of his ambition, his newfound ambition, he starts to make some really, really bold moves in terms of, staring down Thorkel, also recruiting Thorkel, to his crew, forgiving Askeladd for murdering Ragnar, his foster father. And then the third one is actually actually scheming to dethrone his father, essentially, by whatever means possible. Of all these three things I've mentioned, can you guess the hardest one for even Super Saiyan Canute to pull off? You guessed it. It's forgiving Askeladd for killing Ragnar. Remember, everyone, Ragnar was like a foster father to Canute. This guy meant the world to Canute, who didn't really have solid father figure growing up, as in not his own father, King Sweyn, wasn't really there for him like that. So, and according to Viking culture, as in the honor-bound culture of, you wronged me, I can literally kill you right then and there for it, Canute had literally the right to execute Askeladd on the spot for what he did to Ragnar. But what did Canute do? He took the higher road, realizing that if he killed Askeladd right now, it would not bring Ragnar back. And that you even see it on his face, that he twitched a bit, like, what? You killed who? Is that, but he held it, he brought his emotions under control and made the decision a king would make, as in looking to the future, not the past, which was really brilliant in showcasing his potential to be a future king in terms of making hard decisions, such as that one.
Canute殿か。ラグナル殿を殺したのは私です。お切りしてください。ですがもし生かしおきくださるというのであればお役に立ちます。この一命に変えても。
ラグナルの分を働け。それが弔いだ。
必ず。
Guys, everyone here, please listen to me. Forgiveness is not easy. So making that choice to forgive is a powerful decision that not everyone is able to actually follow through on. So for him to do that shows that Canute is actually really awakening to his true potential as a king, thinking of more than himself. Now, that's actually the big thing I was saying in terms of his awakening to his true potential. Now, you awakening, and not just the idea of it, you actually awakening truly begins to manifest itself when you start doing things way beyond your level and scope, your talent and strength, as in Jesus is the one giving you the strength and guidance, the wisdom, the knowledge, the talents, like all this stuff is in you. You just don't know how to use it. So it's actually Jesus teaching you how to use it so that you can manifest and truly awaken as to who you're meant to be in your purpose and destiny. Like, that is real. And when you feel it, you tell me how you feel. You know what I mean? Like, that is actually a real thing that happens to people in this world. And I think because of how brilliant and amazing and awesome that is, that's really the second reason why awakening is a great idea. Reason number 3 as to why awakening is a great idea is because awakening can surprise those around you. Again, if people think they have you all figured out, wait till they see you in your awakened state. Like, literally, the way you walk, talk, and flow will just start blowing everybody away. Just like, and they'll be like, I thought I knew this person. I thought I knew this guy. That's because people actually don't really know who you are. They only know what they see, or sometimes even what they want to see. Like, again, they just see you on the surface level. Sometimes even the people who are closest to you, they only see so much. They don't see everything about who you are because you're that deep. Every human being is that deep. And literally, that's like the look of shock, you know. I'll call it that, shock or surprise, whatever. That hit our boy Wilbur in terms of Wilbur the monk when he literally saw Canute awaken, and he's like, what's going on?
我々の生は試され耐え続けるためにのみあるというのか。天の父よ、あなたの与える試練ではこの者の魂は救えぬ。イリバルド、この者の手当てをしておけ。私は散った馬を捕まえる。そなた手伝え。
殿下、私は奇跡を見ました。
黙って手当てにかか。
Same thing happened with Thorkel in regards to when Canute came back and was like, this is what's happening, like acting like the boss or the person in charge. And one, Thorkel at this point in time was like, this is big. This one was big because Thorkel was pissed off that he lost the fight against Thorfinn. And he was like, I'm not hearing this nonsense from you, who's a noble. You guys are soft and you're not ready to put your lives on the line for what you actually believe in. And he literally threw a punch at our royal prince there, Canute. And again, what does Super Saiyan Canute do? He does not flinch. Like, and everyone there was like, what is this guy?
あのガキは殺す。俺を殺すなら殺せ。だがあんたは生きろ。あんたの他に誰がこの500人のけだものどもをまとめられるって言うんだ。
そこまでだ。これ以上争ってはならぬ。この戦で死ぬ者は犬死にだぞ。飽きもせず、よくもこれほどに殺し合うものだな。
王族だろうと決闘に水さす権利はねえ。引っ込んでなお嬢さん。
もはや決闘の様相ではあるまい。そなたも一党の首領なら誇りと潔さを示してみせるがいい。
うるせえ！んなことてめえに言われなくても分かってんだよ！トルフィンを離せ。この決闘は俺の負けだ。
下がれゲロ、逃げはせぬ。するだけだ。どうせ惜しむような命ではない。
俺はな、命は惜しくないなんて抜かすやつは腐るほど見てきた。大抵は軽く小づいただけで泣いて命乞いしやがる。てめえもその口だろう。あ
And even then, you even see something with Thorkel that, like, Thorkel even was shocked because he's like, whoa, I've seen, like, eyes like this, like, deep eyes where they're looking at something beyond me. Like, my physical strength can't even shake what this guy has. Remember, he saw it in Thor's. When Thor's look gave him that look that made him realize, oh, shoot, this guy's this guy's in a place I can't reach. And that even got him thinking to be like, you know what? Let me actually follow this guy. Which was even a shock to everyone else around them. Because remember, he paused. Like, you even check out the scene. He paused for a good minute, just staring at, Canute, like, is this dude real?
嫌な目だ。こういう目には見覚えがある。お前、 その目で何を見てる。なんだ、黙り込んじまったぞ。野郎ども、こんな俺でもな、たった一つ後悔してることがある。なぜあの時俺はトールズについていかなかったのかってな。あの時奴についてってれば本当の戦士の秘密を知ることができただろう。まあスベン王とやることに変わりはねえしな。よし、決めた。その剣か助太刀しよう。はっ、俺はあんたについていくぜ。あんたがこれから何をして何者になっていくのか見届けてやる。その代わりぬるいことしやがったら即ぶっ殺すかんな。
いいだろう。そなたは今日より私の従士だ。
じゃあ俺たちはどういうそりゃ大将がついてくってんならなんだあの野郎、まだいた。
Like, you know, not flinching like this. I've only ever seen this before in Thor's, who was even a legend, by the way. Viking Dad of the Year. I like Thor's, he's a good character. And again, you see this look of disbelief and shock and surprise with Floki.
Yo, Floki, やる気か？相手になるぜ。
控えよトルケル。私が帰還する旨、数日前に使者を送ったはずだぞフローキ。槍を持って出迎えるのが貴様の礼か？
いや、そのようなことは決して。アセラット、なぜ貴様が？
耳が聞こえぬのか貴様。
はっ、
貴様はデンマーク王家に対し弓を引く気かと聞いているのだ。
いえ、我が用の戦士団は敵軍襲来との誤報を受けまして、申し訳ありません。
王陛下の館へ夕刻までに参じると報告しておけ。正確にな。
一体何が？まるで別人ではないか。
Look at look at Super Saiyan Canute at it again, like running stuff like the royal prince he is in his awakened state, and you could tell Floki's like, what the heck? Like, who is this guy? Like, Floki's jaw literally, I imagined it just dropping to the floor, and Canute was like, huh? Why are you? I'm a royal prince. What are you doing bringing armed people here? And Floki was like, sorry. But anyway, like, just again, just you like an awakening, just surprising people around you, like, what? Who is this guy? You know? Even King Swain is surprised by how skillful Canute has become at reading the, I guess I'll say, the lines of power or the flow of power when it comes to the royal court and, you know, the kingdom and people's perception of the king, as in King Swain himself. You see it when Canute, like, ash-clad engineers an fake assassination attempt on Canute. So now the whole town is concerned for Canute's safety and is actually saying, like, huh, like, that's crazy that he nearly got killed. I mean, there's no way the king would be the one wanting to kill him, right? So it now puts King Swain in a position where he can't actually do anything that looks bad against Canute, because it would prove exactly what the townspeople saw. Again, high-level manipulation here. But again, King Swain himself actually says something that really indicates that he's a, like, almost, you know, it's a bit of like a praise in a sense that as to what his son has done to the town.
出し抜かれたな、フローキよ。はっ、申し訳ございません。 アシェラットか。やりおるな。この町に呪いをかけおったわ。
So when he says that Canute has put the town under a spell, it just means he's won them over, or at least he stated his case. So now the king Swain can't go against Canute. Again, high level chess here happening, like 4D, 4D chess between Canute and his father. But again, it's still a surprise to everybody who was like, this he's nothing, you know? Again, Unawakened You is a surprise to everybody. Not everyone expects you to, you know, blow up, but they will be blown away when it happens. Again, this is why Awakening is such an amazing thing. You cannot predict when it will happen, but when it does happen, it cannot be ignored. I'm going to repeat that again. When Awakening happens, you can't predict when, but when Awakening happens, it cannot be ignored. And that essentially is yet another great reason why Awakening is such a great idea. Yeah. Reason number 4, and our final reason as to why Awakening is a great idea, is because Awakening can bring you peace. Now, being at peace internally is very, very important as to your own progress in life, and also just mental clarity and really unlocking who you are. If you're experiencing any inner turmoil, similar to like Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, if anyone's ever checked that out, that inner turmoil can actually tear you apart, or it can really, really hinder your progress or cripple you essentially. Now, Canute, because now that he's awakened, he's finally accepted the truth for what it is, like the truth that's been staring him in the face for so long, that he is an unloved son whose father, the king, as in King of Denmark, views him as a disposable pawn and intentionally put him in danger so he could actually get killed. Now, that is a very, very hard pill for anybody to swallow, to know that their father sees them in that way. Sidebar, Canute is actually going through the effects of daddy issues, as in, you know, really serious traumatic issues between him and his father. Similar to Zuko, but daddy issues is a whole separate topic. Now back to this in terms of the peace part of things. When someone is actually at peace with the way things stand and who they are, they have no issues with talking about things that have wounded them in the past or what's going on in their life right now, because there's no more shame. The truth is the truth. Like, if you show it up in front of everyone's face, it's still the truth. So again, based on saying that, a sign that Canute is at peace with what his situation as status is when he openly talks about the truth between him and his father in front of everybody. Ashclad, Thorfinn, and Thorkel's men, just like that, you know?
Torkelよ、私に人質の価値はない。なぜなら、父は私を愛してなどいないからだ。父は王位を兄ハラルドに継がせる。私は兄の備えに過ぎぬ。だが、そのことが臣下の者たちを争わせ、王国の元へを危うくさせ始めた。私の生存は父王にとって憂いのもとだ。
つまりスベン王は俺があんたを殺すことを期待していると。
暗殺に比べれば戦死は穏当だ。父王自身の手が小殺しに汚れぬ。
Canute is so at peace with himself that he stops trying to please his father the king from this point onward, and actually starts planning his way to the throne, even if it means his father's death.
ついてきたいものはついてこい。スベン王を玉座から引きずり下ろす。
肝を冷やしましたぞ殿下。
何を慌てることがある。そなたの察する通り、王には今私を殺すだけの大義名分がない。剣王と呼ばれたいお方なのだ。こちらさえ軽挙に出ねば王の内懐はむしろ安全だろ
う。ではなおのこと、先ほどのような挑発はお控えください。
何のことはない。スヴェン王は王冠の奴隷というわけだ。
は
あ。で、どうだ。やれそうか、あの王。
難しいと言わざるを得ませんな。頭の良いお方とお見受けしました。洞察力と先手を打つ行動力をお持ちです。我々が脅しに屈さぬと見るや、次の手に転ずるあたり、戦上手とも申せましょう。さすがは一国の王といったところでしょうか。手強いですぜ。
いずれ殺すにしても今ではないか。
ま、当分は王陛下の隙を伺いつつ、標準の手で行きましょう。
Now I know for some of you that last part sounds crazy, but it's sad that that is the environment that Canute is living in at that period in time where it's winner take all. That's just the truth that people lived with at that time, in the sense of like, doesn't matter how you did it, but if you won, you won. Again, a bit of that Viking culture of dominance and everything like that, but we'll leave that alone. With regards to peace and awakening, there's actually a saying that goes, you can't actually defeat the enemy without, unless you defeat the enemy within. Now, I think this saying is actually referring to you dealing with any inner turmoil, so that once you do so, you can actually face the world with a united front. Only Jesus can help you to really deal with that inner turmoil, because I mean, you can try all you want, but you really don't know the state of your heart. Like, you think you do, but it has to be someone who really can see into your heart. Your heart, I don't mean your organ, I mean like your mind, what's going on in there, the deep recesses of what's happening there. Almost inception level, like what's really inside at the fourth level, deep, what's there? And does that thing need to be healed or removed to help you to become who you're destined to be? It's from a state of peace that you can really become who you really are supposed to be, as in destiny-wise. And that's really the fourth reason why awakening is such a great idea. Now, if you're experiencing any issues with regards to figuring out where you're supposed to be, you feel like something is lacking, or things aren't really going your way, or how things should be in life, don't worry. That's something everyone's gone through before. I would just urge you, please, not to go it alone. Let Jesus help you. I'm telling you, don't. Oh man, there's necessary pain, unnecessary pain. Please don't pick unnecessary pain, because that does not help you grow. I think Jesus can really help you, because he really knows who you are. You only know what you even see. But Jesus is the one who really can unveil our hearts and really help us to help show us who, like I said, the original version of who you're supposed to be is. And I really think asking for his help is the first step to help you progress and move towards, because awakening is not a physical thing. The symptoms will show up physically, but it starts in the heart, like deep, like the core of your being. It's from there. Once that fire is lit, the awakening starts to spread everywhere, and everyone else starts to see it. You see it in Canute too. It started from the core, inside, right there, when it started, and then when it showed up physically, everyone's like, what? So long story short, ask Jesus for the help so that he can help you to start to awaken. Do not go it alone, because you can't do it alone. Seriously. You and I can't do it alone. You know yourself. We're humans. We're so limited. Like, getting distracted like this and that, and, struggling with pain for years. Not because that's how you're supposed to be, but because you only know what you know. So I urge it, and I suggest it, and I say again, just take the step. It starts with one step, and if you have the courage and you really want things to change, please join me in this very simple prayer as asking Jesus to help you start to awaken. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for everything you've done and you continue to do. I surrender myself to you. Come into my heart, become my Lord and Savior. Help me to awaken as to who you've destined for me to be. Help me to heal from wounds of the past, so that I will become everything I'm meant to be in this world. And I thank you so much. Guide and lead the way in all things and more. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen. Yeah. So those are the 4 reasons why awakening is such a great idea. Now, if you've been feeling like, you're not really awakened yet, or you're still being held back and things like that, you're not alone. There are actually a lot of people across the world who are sitting on their potential and have yet to actually tap into who they truly are. I don't want you to be one of them. And I really hope that this episode can help you start to take some steps towards awakening and really becoming who you're meant to be. That's really me though. I really feel people need to know about this. Anime is a way to teach the lesson, and it's Jesus who's bringing the knowledge in. So if you really like it, really feel like it resonated with your heart, please spread the word, tell a friend. There might be someone who needs it, or maybe you are the one who actually needs it. So soak it all in. Now, if you have any comments, or you like the video, like it, want to share it, go crazy. That's all you. If you have any suggestions, please drop it in the comment section. I really appreciate the feedback. And yeah, so thank you for sticking this far. Oh my gosh, thank you for sticking this far. We've actually hit the end of our series, because the series I mentioned of Fathers and Sons, which was really focused on certain characters from the Vinland Saga anime series. So that has come to a conclusion. Please feel free to check out all the past episodes we have. There are a few of them on the YouTube channel. And now we're gonna go back to just diving into different anime, no longer just like a series, different anime that you and I love. So our next episode, just a preview, our next episode is actually gonna be about an orphan, strong, heart of gold, and some really, really, really crazy kunai skills. For those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, it's my boy Naruto. So yeah, we're gonna dive into an episode in regards to that. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay blessed, enjoy, and we'll talk soon. Peace.